In 2019, Boeing lost over $20 billion in market value to crashes, a global grounding of their fleet, and reputational damage that could take decades to repair. But the real mistake, the one that truly mattered, didn't happen in the air. It happened 5 years earlier, inside a boardroom. This story is often told as an engineering failure. We hear about faulty sensors, software issues, and poor testing, and all of that is true, but it's an incomplete picture. Because what failed first wasn't a component on an airplane. It was the company's performance management system. This was a systems failure. When your company's incentives reward speed and cost-cutting over robustness and safety, people don't suddenly become reckless. They become silent. For most of its long history, Boeing was an engineering-led company. Engineers had real authority. Safety had veto power. Project schedules were built around technical reality, not the other way around. Then came the 1997 merger with McDonnell Douglas. This wasn't just a corporate event. It was a cultural inflection point. The entire leadership philosophy shifted. Decision-making power moved upward, away from the engineers on the ground and into the hands of executives. Financial discipline became the dominant language spoken in the halls of power. On paper, this probably looked rational. Aerospace is a capital-intensive business, and shareholders demand efficiency. But a successful strategy isn't just about efficiency. It's about what you choose to optimize. And this is where the real failure begins, the KPI trap. Key performance indicators. Managers were incentivized based on time delivery, cost reduction, and program margins. Think about that. Their bonuses were tied to schedule cost and throughput. Safety was, of course, listed as a core value, but it was not a primary rewarded KPI. And in any large organization, what gets measured is what gets managed. This is a classic example of Goodhart's law, which states that when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. When delivery speed becomes the primary target for a bonus, any delay starts to feel like a personal failure. Technical risks transform from problems to be solved into annoying obstacles. And raising a concern, speaking up about a potential safety issue, becomes a personally costly act. No executive needs to send a memo saying ignore safety. The system does it for them automatically. This is how cultures of silence are formed, often without a single bad person involved. What we're seeing here is a textbook principal agent problem. The board of directors, the principals, wants long-term value, which includes safety and public trust, but the agents, the executives, and managers are responding to short-term incentives, like quarterly profits and delivery bonuses. Meanwhile, the engineers at the bottom of the chain bear the technical risk but lack the authority to make critical decisions. Each layer in this hierarchy is just trying to optimize its own scorecard. The system slowly drifts off course. No single decision looks catastrophic in isolation until the final outcome is. This is the danger of short-termism. Decisions are optimized for the next fiscal quarter, not for the next decade. In the world of aerospace, that's a lethal way to operate. Once a system like this is in place, it becomes self-reinforcing. It develops a powerful cultural inertia. People who raise issues are seen as slowing things down. People who deliver on time, hit their numbers, and keep quiet are the ones who get promoted. And those people then perpetuate the same system. You see, culture isn't about the inspirational posters you hang on the walls. Culture is what happens repeatedly when the pressure is on. Culture is simply the sum of your incentives and the repetition of behavior they encourage. So, what is the real lesson here for any organization? The lesson isn't just be more careful or hire better engineers. The real lesson is that you must design better performance systems. This is where something like the balanced scorecard becomes critically important, not just as a fancy reporting tool, but as a genuine governance system. Financial KPIs should never be allowed to dominate on their own. They must be balanced by other crucial perspectives, the quality of your internal processes, your key risk indicators, and the health of your team's capabilities and learning. Think about it in terms of leading versus lagging indicators. Safety checks and robust testing are leading indicators. They predict future success. Cost overruns and accidents are lagging indicators. They tell you what has already gone wrong. You cannot manage a complex, high-stakes system by only looking in the rearview mirror. In a truly balanced system, a manager who delays a delivery to address a safety concern isn't seen as failing. They're seen as succeeding. They are doing their job correctly. Boeing's crisis wasn't caused by a lack of intelligence or a shortage of talented people. It was caused by a system that consistently, day after day, rewarded the wrong behaviors. It made cutting corners the rational choice for the people inside it. Never forget that strategy is not what you say in a press release. Strategy is what your performance system makes rational. If you want to understand how strategy, incentives, and performance systems shape real-world outcomes before they become front-page headlines, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.